Alicia here from My Work Basket. Let me tell you first that one thing that I really struggle with crafts as a business especially, is thinking ahead seasonally and by holiday. So in the craft world, and you know this by going to the craft store, you know, Christmas crafts don't start in December. They start in September, October, or even earlier sometimes, especially if you're like selling them and things like that. I really struggle with that. Like, I can't necessarily think about Christmas as a craft until my brain is on Christmas as something going on in my life. It's a thing that I struggle with. Incidentally, despite it being Halloween and me wearing a Halloween shirt, today's video is thinking ahead, and it is about December daily. So recently I was talking with a friend and I mentioned how I've wanted to do a pocket journal because I felt like it'd be a really nice way for me personally to journal and to kind of scrapbook. And the reason I specifically was looking at pockets is because I do such a wide variety of crafts. And I was saying that I could also, you know, knit a swatch and tuck it into a pocket. I could spin or dye a yarn or dye some wool and tuck it into a pocket with a little card of information. I could sew something like a shirt and tuck in a little card of information and the fabric swatch and things like that. So I was really looking at pocket journaling, but I was telling her what happens with me and my struggle with all of these styles of like ongoing scrapbooking, ongoing journaling, storytelling, as some people say, is building the habit of doing it. I am not great at habits. I am the first person to admit it. I am terrible at habit making and building good habits. And so I was saying that I know there's so many days in my life that there's not a lot to say. There's not a lot to talk about. That things are very much the same. And so I was like, I know there'd be so many days that I have nothing to journal. And then that would make it that much harder to build that habit of regular journaling. That's something I've struggled with no matter what type of journal I'm working with. Even at planners. I struggle with planners because most of the time I have nothing to write in a planner. And then suddenly I have a whole bunch at once. And I use my planner for about a week because I'm busy. And then the next week I have nothing again. And I haven't built that habit of regularly using a planner. So she mentioned to me, and this was mid-October, she mentioned to me what some people do is the October daily and the December daily. And I was like, obviously I can't start October daily. But the interesting thing was I had just heard of or been reminded of these two things like 2 days before that. Here at home, I had opened tabs on my computer on that same subject. And so we were saying how it could be a good idea. And I said, you know, the great thing with December daily, if I build that habit over the course of December, then going into the new year, I could just keep going. I've got that habit. I could just kind of keep going with it. And so then I came home from chatting with her and I found out that that same day, scrapbook.com had done a live stream and was having a big sale on pocket notebook, like pocket journaling, pocket scrapbooks. They have pocket pages, pocket cards, all this stuff on sale. And I was like, this is too much. So I decided in that moment that I was going to do December daily. And I ordered supplies. I know, it's an ongoing thing. I ordered a very small order because I had a very strict budget. Mostly because I'm paying off previous purchases where I ignored my budget and put them on my credit card. So I'm going to show you in this video what I personally am doing and how I'm getting started. I'm going to show you some of the products I ordered and what I've kind of done with them already towards doing December daily. And, you know, over the month, you'll see updated progress and things like that. It is only October 31st, but my plan is to work on my book and on making my own ephemera, making my own journal cards and some of that kind of stuff, and preparing for December daily through the month of November, and then being ready to dive in and get started December 1st. So let's flip the camera around and I'm going to show you what I have purchased and how I personally am kind of organizing my stuff and getting started. All right, let's go. Okay, so I have a mess of supplies all around me. Some of them related to December daily and some of them not. But let's get going. So first, you know, have my scissors. Those are unrelated. The day that I ordered from scrapbook.com, and I don't know if this is still going or not, but at that time they had a free pair of scissors with your order. So I got these micro tiny scissors. Also, all items that I purchased will be linked to in the description box. They are affiliate links, which means I might make a small commission if you follow those links. But these are all current products, very much available, and they will be linked to below. I got these Happy Feet Sprinkletz embellishments. I had actually wanted these for a while for a different project, and this gave me kind of a reason to dive in and get those. I'm planning to do kind of a little shaker pouch. And what else? I don't really know, but that is one thing I purchased. For my actual album, I decided to go with the Snap Flipbook 6x8 in green. I kind of wish already that I had picked a different book for my actual book. Generally speaking, I like this. Some of the ideas I had, I am struggling with how to incorporate with the closure style that these books have. So for example, I've been watching like Allie Edwards, and she does some stuff, you know, in page protectors, outside of page protectors, and even some of the ideas I had for like pocket pages, separate like shakers and things. I'm not entirely sure how to bind them with just this bit and make them secure enough. I also did not put in 2 pages so that I wanted to actually cut one down and turn it into a shaker and then hook it in just kind of itself. And that's one of the ideas that I'm kind of like, I don't know how secure it'll be with just one little thing holding it in, but I'm going to work it out to the best of my ability. And chances are, you know, I'm going to learn a lot doing this journal, and I'm going to learn a lot doing this December daily, and my next one will likely be completely different. So I kept out 2 pages to be able to kind of cut apart and do other things with. I did buy an additional pack of page protectors, just a mixed pack. So this has all the original page protectors that came with it, plus the 2 that I left out. And what I did was I just kind of randomly mixed them up. I didn't pre-think about how I'm going to do it. I just mixed up kind of which page protectors there are. I literally just like kind of shuffled them in and put them in the binder. Because I know I'm planning to do some things like little shaker pockets, maybe some felt pieces, I'm intending for my book to get kind of fat with a lot of types of mixed ephemera. I went in, and this is a video I saw somewhere, I took some black craft foam and spaced it out in my binding here so that between every 3 pages, there is a piece of craft foam to add a little bit of depth to the spine. So right now, my spine is fatter than my pages, but as I go in and add all kinds of thick stuff and my book itself fattens up, it won't be like that. It'll like balance itself out. And I also have additional foam if I need to add more than just kind of every 3 pages. So that's what I did so far. And I will say, I cut my foam and then I kind of lined it up and punched it piece by piece. And I wish I had paid a little bit more attention. I don't even know if it'll show, but like this one pokes above the page protectors. This one goes under the page protectors. These 2 are like even and perfect. I wish I had done a little bit better with kind of lining them all up. But all in all, it looks fine. And I can always just trim off little tails if needed. I also feel like right now this is a little bit floppy, which is one of my other reasons for kind of wishing I had picked a different book. But again, I did it to myself by always spending too much money and having to work on a very tight budget. Also, my piece here seems to have flipped down. I do love the general binder clip way, and I will tell you, I have boxes of binder clips like this that I've purchased in the past because I found them for like 50 cents at a yard sale. So I love the idea of being able to do my own journals and books with these, and then even being able to buy page protectors. So essentially I can make covers, I could buy page protectors. So that part I do like. So that is my book itself that I'm using for my December daily. I also purchased an assortment of page, like journaling cards. And I will admit, quite a few of the ones that I got are not really the colors that I was hoping for. So what I am doing personally, I am in love with these like half-size binders. Unfortunately, I didn't know I was going to be in love with them, and I bought one. So this one binder has things besides December Daily in it, but I'm already planning to get more binders to change that. So I've been using these binders like if I have a sewing pattern that I'm working on. These are scraps from a previous project, my Little Women cards. These are just scraps of like pre-cut paper. But then what I did was take my journaling cards, including 12 by 12 sheets that I cut down, and I cut them down into sizes I thought I might like. And also, so that I could keep track of what I had to be able to share with you and reference in future videos, I kept the little title from the bottom of each piece of paper. And so some of them I left hooked together just in case. I can always cut it apart, but this way I can put it in my booklet. So this is A Very Merry Christmas by Carta Bella, done by Stephen Duncan, it looks like. I love these. This vintage style, the colors used. This is so much my general vibe. And so I loved these. These are my favorite out of all the ones I got. But other than this, which I was buying no matter what, I feel like most of the other journal cards that I got are not my usual kind of bright approach to Christmas. I am a very, like, these are generally my colors. I go for like candy green, candy red, like very vivid. But there are quite a few that I love, and I love the plaid on the back of this. Also, I cannot afford to just buy completely new stuff, so I just kind of got to suck it up and deal with it. This bundle is Hello Christmas by Carta Bella. These were all 112 by 12 page that I cut down. And yeah, unfortunately, see, like this green is way darker than I usually go. So I was a little bit disappointed with how muted and dark some of the colors are for my personal style. But we'll see if I might just go with it this year and know that I need to pay better attention in the future. Or I might do things to kind of brighten it up. But what I did was take each one of my packs of cards, each one of my sheets of cards, and I went ahead and cut them down, and each one is in its own page protector. Here is another Hello Christmas by Carta Bella. So these are just, so I went ahead and cut them all down, and each one is in its own page protector for me to go as I start. It does concern me a little bit because part of what I want to do over the month of December is make my own additional items. Like I really like some of the felt cutouts and things like that. And I'm concerned about my other supplies and if they will match these materials since they're not my usual colors. So like a bright candy red felt very easy to get. But something like some of these more like kind of almost burgundy colors are going to be a lot harder to match. So I'm a little concerned that that's going to be an ongoing issue as I go about. So this is A Perfect Christmas by Lori Whitlock. And it is done by Echo Park Paper Company. See, these much closer to my usual colors. So I do have quite a few cards that I don't know if I'll use, partly because I have way more than I need for one December daily, but also like I was saying about the coloring of them and if they just kind of match or don't match my personal preferences. I did create an online swap on SwapBot for people who find themselves in a similar position so that we can all swap bits and bobs. This one is 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, Volume 2 by Echo Park Paper. So I have all of my different cards so far cut out, prepped. I'm going to spend the month of November doing a little bit of prep work on my album itself. I also saw that Allie Edwards has a class available on her website. It is only $5 for this class, and it is a 10-hour, you heard that correct, 10-hour prep class specific to December daily. Now, I am not planning to do all 10 hours in a row, especially because it is a weekend, and chances are I will be at basketball with my son. So these cards are a really good example of some of what I was saying about like the coloring of it. Like I would never use this in a Christmas album. The other side of it, however, is a little bit more on theme with Christmas. And then I like this in general for like the rest of the year. Now, scrapbook.com, the same day that I did this, and I was planning to get one, but it would have taken me way over budget. They had a card organizer for organizing your journaling cards, and it was on sale for a great deal. And I do plan to possibly get one of those in the future as I stick with this a little bit more and have more of a thing. But besides the fact that it would have taken me way over budget, I also have nowhere in my craft room currently to put it. So the smaller stack of cards I just showed you and this stack here are from scrapbook.com, and it is there. I believe it's called a December to Remember journal card pack. And they're kind of double-sided. Some of them I feel like, I don't necessarily feel that the front of this card matches the colors on the back of this card, which is a nice thing sometimes. And then also kind of a like, I feel like if you put it in a pocket, it kind of throws off any design you may do on the back. But so I have a bunch of these larger ones. This is another one. I cannot personally imagine using this in a Christmas scrapbook. Those are not colors I personally would ever use for Christmas, but it is very pretty. And then the back is super cute for actual holidays. And it has a little bit of the slightly brighter red. So I did size my smaller cards and my bigger cards from that pack separately. I did like these. These are a bit more on my regular Christmas colors. This is my favorite Christmas. I don't know where the slip is to show you who made it. And some of these, this one was annoyingly hard to cut out because you couldn't, I just used a paper trimmer. But this one had this Santa where if you just trimmed it straight down the line, you would have cut him off. But I really like these, this kind of chalkboard style. I was planning to take one of them, I'm not sure which one yet, and adding some embroidery to the thing itself. Like this one might be nice to do, you know, some of the snowflakes, even some of the letters with embroidery floss over the top. So I'm planning to do that on at least some of these cards. And this is also Echo Park Paper Co. So one of them got left in there. And I got another sheet of this same My Favorite Christmas. I got 2 of these. They are probably some of the more on my color pattern. So here's another Perfect Christmas, also by Echo Park. And again, I had the same idea for these. Like they obviously go together. Where I might do some, this one would be really good to go in with embroidery. Do maybe some of the letters, but also the snowflakes, some French knots and things like that. So I was planning to go in with some embroidery floss on some of these, which is going to contribute to that thickness that I was saying. This one actually for me tells a story in and of itself. I hate this song now. I feel like it's so played out and I'm just really, really sick of it. Hate is a strong word. I wouldn't say hate really. I'm just really, really sick of the song. But the year that my husband and I got engaged, he was away for boot camp at Christmas time. And this song was like so sentimental to me at that time. And so I will probably write about that story to go with this card. And I also love this. And I was thinking that my family could make this actual eggnog recipe. And then maybe I could write about that. And then this one, this is also Echo Park paper. This is another one to go with a Perfect Christmas. I suspect these ones for a Perfect Christmas will be some of my most used cards, mostly because they are in closer to my usual style and colorway. So, and then those are all of the purchased items and purchased journal cards that I have. My last pocket is other things that I have assembled. And I'm going to put more page protectors in here. There's one more page protector in here. These are just old stickers that I got. They're seals from like an old American Diabetes Association fundraiser. They honestly, I found these like laying on the floor. I think they came in, if you saw the video of when I got the boxes and boxes of cards and envelopes, I think they were in there. I also I'm doing the fodder school, and since I knew I was doing December daily, I did the October project of, mine is actually gouache, it's not watercolor, but I made some of these random little figures and ornaments and Christmas trees to go on subject. So I have those to glue into my album. So like I painted, this is just a circle that I painted. And then I did the details with paint pen. Same with these other little ornaments. I love them actually. I think they came out really well. Some of my trees I like better than other trees, but... And also in here, there's a few more of the fodder that I made. In the scrapbook and cards today, let me pull one of those because I have it handy. Whenever you order from scrapbook.com, you can always add a copy of Scrapbook and Cards Today, the most recent episode issue. I always do that. I've said before that I always do that. You can add a copy of this magazine free to your order, and I always do. And one of the pages had these from Photoplay paper. And it was just kind of all laid out to show you kind of what the product line looked like. And I don't know if they meant for you to do this, but I cut all of mine out to kind of glue into pages. So I really like them. They don't match most of my other cards, but I cut them out to use for random things. Here's a little house I did with the same collage fodder idea. So this whole page is just packed with things that I'm collecting other places around my craft room. I do glue books where you cut pictures out of magazines, so I may add more things in from that. So that is what I have so far. And I'll show you, I mentioned that I'm doing a December daily swap. The swap is on SwapBot. It has a limited time to sign up to make sure everybody gets them in time for Christmas and for actually working on their December dailies. But here are some cards I pulled out that like are not at all my colorway or things that I would use for Christmas. Like this is cute and I would use maybe that year round, but this is just not something I would use. These penguins are cute, but you know, you can't keep everything. So these are cards that I pulled out to use that I'm going to put in my swap item because, again, this one's super cute, but I'm not using that for Christmas. It's just not. So I'm going to give somebody else a chance to use these. Those are going to be in my swap. The swap is a stuff and envelope swap, so everyone is taking a 6x9 envelope and stuffing it full of all sort of Christmassy goodies to use in your December daily. So that, so far, is what I have prepped to start working on December daily. I also took some chipboard, and this is actually the chipboard that came in my order to prevent my paper from bending, and I cut it down into 6x8. That's these two, and these were kind of what was left. Will I use them? I don't know, but I have them. So that is something I can choose to put in my album or cut down even smaller. But currently it fits in my very fat notebook. See how this is popping open? That is exactly why I put foam in here, so that that won't pop open like that as it gets chubby. So that is what I purchased recently to start my December daily. I did also sign up for the Allie Edwards Prep Day class. So all in all, I have spent about $45 to do December daily. I tell you this because I think it's important that people are open about how much crafts cost and how much crafts cost them personally. I spend a lot of money on crafts, but I also have been, you know, a poor, broke student in the middle of nowhere that didn't have nearly the money or options that I have now. So I think it's very important to be honest about what you're spending so other people can see if they can honestly afford it or not. Never, ever, ever break yourself for the sake of crafts. Ever. Like, that's just a thing of mine. Just don't do it. But that is it for today's video. I hope you'll stay tuned. I do intend to do future videos where I talk about December daily and maybe show you how my journal, my December daily scrapbook journal is going. And we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully I'm going to build that habit and I'm going to keep it going. And next year I will actually journal like I've been planning to. So that's it. I thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day and I will see you in my next video. Bye!